All right, testing one, two, three, testing one, two, three, making sure I can hear this thing. Welcome back to the Green Logbook. Good to be back on here after a long week of just everything, school and work, and everything's happening at one time. But glad to be on here. You may hear something in the background. That is my new 3D printer that I just got not so long ago. It's my new hobby now. It was an old hobby back in the day, and got a new one, and this new one actually works a lot faster, and it's bringing out the creativeness back into my life, and a lot of organization too. So I'll share that with you. It's pretty amazing what this thing does. But yeah, a whole lot of stuff going on with school, with VR&E stuff. I got a call yesterday from somebody. I didn't know who it was. And they're like, "Hey, well, we want to confirm your address." And hey, what's going on, Roland and Bruv? They're like, "Yeah, we want to confirm your address." And I'm like, "Who is this?" And they're like, "Oh, they mentioned whatever organization they're with. Oh yeah, we work with the VA." They said, "We want to know where to mail your MacBook and all the accessories for the VR&E." I'm like, wow, okay, well, let's do that. So it should be it's a MacBook Air that they're going to be sending through VR&E. So it should be getting here in about a week or two, is what they said, because they do have a lot of shipments to send out. So just be aware of that. If you're signing up for VR&E, do not hesitate to ask for that laptop. They gave me the option, either Windows or MacBook. I have all Mac products. I know how to use Mac products, and they're going to be giving me the Windows, or was it PowerPoint and Word, the whole Microsoft Office, and pre-installed in the laptop, right? So very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. I was also looking at this. So one of the classes, at least one of the courses, would allow you to travel with through the university. This is like international, kind of an international class. And I was looking it up. I was like, I wonder if VR&E covers this international travel, if it's part of a class. So in essence, they do. They do it, from what I was looking at. As long as it's part of a class, it will cover that travel for the class. So if your course if your degree plan requires you to go somewhere, I think in this instance it was Spain is where they're going to do a kind of some kind of research project out there, and VR&E would cover that. So that's cool. I have yet to bring it up to my counselor. I don't know if he has not seen all this stuff. So I was just looking at it. I'm like, maybe this is a thing. Maybe I get to go to Spain for a little bit. Adjust my seat here. Got the kids always messing around with my stuff, man. There we go. Awesome. Yeah, so I'll do this here as I normally do. I will share this link for anybody who wants to jump on the live stream, and let me know how everything's going on the live stream. So a few things that I wanted to bring up here that caught my eye. Now, mind you, I've been kind of out of the loop a little bit because I have been in school. I've been just trying to survive, get back in that academic mindset with the whole VR&E thing. But a few things that caught my eye. Let me pull it up here. I just saw this. This came out 2 days ago. Pretty interesting stuff. So the VA plans to scan 1 million veteran claims for signs of fraud. Okay, let's check it out here together. This is the first I'm seeing it. Department of Veterans Affairs plans to launch an automated fraud detection tool to scan more than 1 million disability benefits questionnaires for evidence of fabrication or other problems that could force a new medical exam and impact compensation, according to the AVA official. James W. Smith, the deputy executive, told lawmakers that the tool will have the capability to quickly review submitted questionnaires, known as DBQs, that document medical evidence to determine a disability rating and monthly compensation. Okay, again, this is the VA planning to scan 1 million veteran claims for signs of fraud for anybody who's just joining in. Let me see. The new VA's automated tool is expected to launch in fiscal year 2026 and is part of a larger push to fortify the benefit systems against fraud and abuse. Some veterans raising questions about the effectiveness of an automated tool for uncovering fraud. There will be some fraud found, but a lot of DBQs will be questioned that may not be fraud, predicted Jason Cameron, Marine Corps veteran, retired benefits services officer. The plan is to use the tool to reanalyze DBQs dating to 2010 and flag claims with potential problems. The tool will use artificial intelligence to look for signs that medical evidence was exaggerated or invented. I wonder how they're going to decipher that. Are they going to bounce it off of what you've put on there versus what is in your medical record? DBQs are downloaded, forms available. Yes, we know what DBQs are. Questionnaires, often standard. Okay, yeah, we know. We have determined that there are telltale signs that a DBQ could potentially be fraudulent, Smith said in the final minutes of the House VA subcommittee hearing last month. The tool will be able to quickly identify potential problem cases. The VA is being proactive in this space. Suspect DBQs could include high-volume submissions from so-called fraud mills that use similar boilerplate language on multiple questionnaires for different individuals. When a DBQ is flagged, the VA will most likely order a new compensation and pension exam. Okay, so I don't know who this guy is. He's home fraud. Okay, so that's something new, right? The VA plans to scan millions of veteran claims for signs of fraud, utilizing AI and potentially forcing those who have questionable DBQs or questionnaire submissions, potentially giving them another CMP exam. Let me wait until this thing finishes here. Stamp 3D printer. It will be interesting, Navy cop. It will be interesting because, for one, AI. It has its faults. Potentially, they could push somebody to redo a CMP exam, and they did everything legitimately. And then they're using these canned things, these canned boilerplate phrases, and from these fraud mills. I don't know what exactly fraud mills are. Potentially these claim sharks or whatever that are submitting the same thing over and over. I'm curious to see how this is going to go. I just foresee like more lawsuits coming because I believe people are going to get hit up that probably should not be hit up that have legitimate claims. Of course, this guy's on here. I've seen this guy around. Let's see what else. So going to the comments here really quick. This will be interesting to see, Navy cop. This will be interesting to see AI, I assume, yes, which will be questionable at best, correct. And those over 55 that by reg shouldn't be reviewed anymore. Should be concerned, rhetorical, but concerning. Let's look something up here. Let's just do a quick search. PNT, nothing on PNT, 100%, 100 miles. No, nothing on PNT, nothing on 100% VA disabled folks. I don't know who or how they're going to decipher all this stuff, etc. So we will see. So that was the one of the concerning things. I don't know what the hell this is on my screen. VA plans to scan 1 million veteran claims for signs of fraud. Interesting. So that's something I was just reading. I took a break from doing my schoolwork for a little bit because I can only do so much of that before my brain feels like it's freaking fried. So switched over to my other love, which is veteran benefits and legislation stuff. So I started reading through all this. Another thing that came up, and let me see if I can pull it up on this. Let me remove that. pull it on the screen here. Amsis. So I went to the doc yesterday, and this normally doesn't happen. And he asked me, we sat there and he asked me, "Hey, so what are your thoughts on what's happening in Iran?" And I I'm not gonna share everything with you, but I'm like, "Hey, where do I start?" Right. But I this came about on my screen here, my feed. Pentagon says about 140 U.S. troops have been injured in Iran war so far, 8 severely, which is concerning. I mean, we all kind of know what would happen if when you raise your right hand and you join the military, there's a potential for you to, be found in these types of conflicts, potential for you to deploy. I mean, I knew that risk when I joined personally. I joined in end of 2003/2004, finished boot camp around 2004. And that's when everything was kind of popping off in Iraq. And sure enough, a year after I went to my first duty station, I found myself on a flight to Kuwait and then a bus to Camp TQ. So over in Iraq. So that happened. It was a little concerning, but whatever, it is what it is. However, this is a little bit concerning. Like there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions about this. Like why are we there? Do we need to be there? 140 U.S. troops have already been injured, 8 severely. I mean, there's already some folks that passed away. Raised a lot of questions. Curious to know what you think in the comments here. Just post in the chat there. The one sandwich. I like that name. 8706. The past assigned. That part assigned a doctor more than 100 miles away from veteran location. What if VA assigned someone who was more than 100 miles away? Yeah. So taking it back over there to the other one that we talked about here. Let me pull it up on the screen. I'll just share this window here. Okay. We're talking about this one here, and I think you mentioned the 100 miles, right? The tool will also identify DBQs as suspected that list a doctor or other examiner with an address that is more than 100 miles away from a veteran's home. That is also concerning, right? I mean, I don't know why they're going to bring it up, but your question was, what if the VA assigns someone who was more than 100 miles away? Well, they do that. They already do that. Mine was 100 miles away for an optometry appointment. Well, no, not 100 miles away. It was probably 75 miles away from where I was. It took me about almost 3 hours to get there. It's probably close to 100 miles. I don't know why they assigned that, but when I asked if I could get somebody a little bit closer, because there are optometrists in my area, they're like, yeah, that's the only person they have within their network. Yeah, so it was pretty far away. It was damn near close to Arizona that I had to go to for that. So I just drove, and I had to ask my wife to take off work to do that because they were going to dilate my eyes. So a pain in the ass. But yeah, it's so what if they assigned you someone who was more than 100 miles away? I don't know. I don't know. They shouldn't. It's a pain. I mean, you should be able to, and I can't recall. I don't think that they allowed me to submit a claim for that, for like a gas claim or anything like that, travel claim. So there's that. Let me see here. Navy cop. Yeah, I don't know. Is that from actions, or does that take into account shipboard accidents from lack of awareness, training issues without reading the article? That is. Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to share the article here. Again, this is something I'm coming up with just now. Let's see. The vast majority of these injuries have been minor, and 108 service members have already returned to duty. 8 are currently severely injured. Yeah, I mean, it could be training. I mean, this is just what they report, right? Anytime somebody gets injured, then they're going to report that, right? But who knows? Um, I'm curious about it. I'm going to read the article as well here. I'm going to share the article with you guys here in the chat. Here's that, so you can check it out. And there's a few out there that talk about it, about the same thing. 140 U.S. troops have been injured in the Iran war. Just got to Google that part. Let me see. High level review conference on Friday morning. Hopefully, I'll be able to do VR&E again. Soon again. Yeah, hell yeah. So high level review conference. So homebody, Miss Katie. Hey, welcome to the Green Logbook. So home HLR conference on Friday. Is that? Did you appeal? Did you appeal your VR&E to like a supervisor? I'm curious. Because I know that they have that appeal process, and you could talk to a high level reviewer or a supervisor and plead your case. Sometimes I hear different things about it. Like it could be a little tough to do um, because they do try to play mind games with you as far as trying to tell you that your stuff is not as bad as it should be or as bad as it is. Um, yeah, so I'm curious about what your VR&E status is. Let me see. Radio HQ. Yeah, Radio HQ. Good friend, Radio HQ. Yep. And CivDiv. Yep. Clay. Talk about the fraud. If you didn't do fraud, you have. Yeah, absolutely. If you didn't do fraud, you got nothing to worry about. Right. The only thing is, with AI, anything, anything goes. They could tap you for whatever. Hey, this doesn't look right. This wasn't worded correctly. Hey, let's have this guy redo a CMP, even if it was all on the up and up. Right. So that's the only concern. I mean, yeah, obviously, if you didn't do any fraud, you should be good to go. Or golf, tango golf, as we say. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Navy cop. Yep. The problem is that with the minor 10,000-foot view of information, we can what if the process until the cows come home. That's right. That's the tough part of where the fear mongering comes out. Yeah, yeah. So there's the fear mongering is a whole bunch of speculation. Yeah. What if that? Um, and again, I mean, without like the receipts per se, we can't really specify. So we can speculate about this stuff all day without actually seeing the reports, the blotters or the hazard reports or whatever they're doing, the mishap reports. So we can speculate about this stuff all day. But let me see what it says on here. I'll pull it up on the screen here. Mm, numbers of the first insights and broader injury sustained. Okay. Rockets, center dissatisfied. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So it doesn't really specify I mean, from what I see, what exactly the injuries were from. It just says these numbers are a first sight into the broader toll of injuries sustained by U.S. troops after a barrage of retaliatory rocket and drone strikes from Iran had also killed 7 soldiers in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. But as far as the 140, I don't know. It could be a training incident. It could be some kind of a mishap. I don't know. So just putting it out there for you folks to kind of read about, stay up to speed on this stuff. I'm sure more will come out and more to follow on this. But as far as I can't put it out there, I'm not going to speculate that they were, it was due to a missile strike or anything like that because it just doesn't say that. I can't, I don't feel right saying anything like that and speculating. So yeah, good on you, Navy cop, for keeping us honest, man. All my CMP exams were conducted by VES services. I didn't use any private company to file for me. Hmm. Why am I feeling stressed out over this crap? Yes. It's a great question and a legitimate feeling to have, but you know, I wouldn't stress out about it too much. Me personally, I wouldn't. Um, they're going to be doing they're going to do what they're going to do. If people get called up, just as long as you submitted the appropriate things and your all your stuff is legitimate, you should have no worries, right? You should have no worries. Don't stress out about it. There's too much information out there, and I think as we keep up with all the info, as we keep up with all these, shit. I guess I suppose I'm in that same category, a YouTube influencer, right? As we keep up with all these YouTube channels on all this speculation and all this information, um, it's going to build anxiety. It's going to build stress, and just take a break from it. Don't worry about it until they hit you up. Don't worry about it. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Sick bay was a revolving door. I recall. I recall anything from I broken ankle to the sniffles. I remember. Yeah. So um, yeah, it's there's a lot of again we talk about the fear mongering and all that stuff, and it produces the anxiety and then the stress, and don't that's what big reason why I took all the social media stuff off my phone. It too much news was overwhelming my mind, my time, and I couldn't handle it anymore. So that's that one time, that one week on the channel where I just completely went dark on the channel, and that was my bad for not specifying and mentioning anything. I know I got a few emails from folks like asking if I'm okay. I'm like, yeah, yeah, everything's good. I just need to take a break, man. Um, but yeah, it's sometimes you need that break. Let's see. The one sandwich, I don't think there was anything so now I asked my counselor 2 weeks ago about how to purchase my laptop for school and haven't had a response. Is this normal? Um, all right. The one saying I'll share it for everybody here. Okay. I don't think there was anything to the complaints about VR&E counselors until now. I asked my counselor 2 weeks ago about how to purchase my laptop for school and haven't had a response. Is this normal? It can be normal, yes. So a lot of VR&E counselors, they are very overwhelmed, very overworked. Um, I have a good relationship with my VR&E counselor. We're both former Marines, and we just hit it off, and we have open discussions about things. And at one point, he told me he's got about 150 people that he's working for or working with. So like case management style. He has 150 folks that he's trying to work with on VR&E. So it could take several weeks. It could. Now, I'm curious, the one sandwich, what is your degree plan in? Um, because potentially if you go towards if you have a certain educational track as well, they can get you other things. Like if you're going for like film school, they'll get you a camera, and your laptop so you can do all the editing and all that. So there's a ton of stuff that you can get. You just have to be able to justify it. You can ask for it. But yeah, to answer your question, it can be normal. There was a time where I didn't hear from my VRE counselor, my VRC, for about 2 weeks. And, he wrote back, "Hey, my bad. I'm just kind of getting, going through the priority list here. I have a bunch of other people he needs to approve." And then he got to my email. So, yes, it can be normal. I'd say give it another week. And if you don't hear anything back, um, you can what I did when I didn't hear anything back for quite some time, I emailed just to make sure that everything was good, that I didn't get like switched counselors or something. Um, I emailed the higher level person, which was the initial person that I got the introductory VR&E counseling from. It was like that big group of folks on that Zoom meeting. I emailed this person. The crazy thing is that they all have the same email. It's like eva@va.org, but somehow it funnels to your person, to your own counselor. So I had to make sure I went back to my emails, I searched this person's name, I sent it out to them directly. So uh, you can do that. You can do that. Um, BA Associates of Arts, awesome. Associates of Arts in what? Mm-mm. Excellent question. The one sandwich. Okay. So I'll tell you exactly the process I'm going through. Okay. You don't have to purchase it up front. They never asked me to purchase anything up front. I got an email asking, do I need a laptop? I had mentioned it in a prior email. Hey, I'm looking to purchase a laptop. Would I get reimbursed? And then he emailed me back, hey, we can provide you with a laptop. Do you want a Windows or MacBook? Do you need a printer, etc.? So I mentioned MacBook, printer, Office suite, and all that. It does take some time. He told me it would take about 30 to 60 days to receive the MacBook. But then I started class last week. Yeah, last week was my first full week of class. So um, a week prior, so about 2 weeks ago, I mentioned to him that I need the laptop, right? Again. And he put the order in. I got a call yesterday from some company that works with the VA, some contractor, saying, "Hey, we just want to confirm your address so we can ship out your laptop." And rather than give him my address, I was like, "Hey, what do you have on file right now?" And they told me my address. I'm like, "Hey, good to go. That's it." So I should be getting that here in about 2 weeks. So the idea is, or the plan is, you don't have to go out and buy your own stuff right away. I don't know how the reimbursement works on the back end because what they do is they put it on the government credit card, right? They have some kind of line of accounting for all that stuff. And I don't know. A reimbursement might take longer than needed. So I would say ask your counselor first, get a hold of him first, right? And ask him first. And then potentially it'll probably take a month or so before you actually get something in hand. Yeah. Yeah. So you have a limit. However, having worked in the government myself, having worked in the military, having purchased things and having done reimbursements take quite some time because it needs to go through different hands for all that stuff. Um, I would get a hold of this person first before you go out and buy anything again. And I understand the $2,200 limit. That's fine. That's all good and well. Uh, but that means your computer, that means your um, printer, whatever else you need, hard drive and all this stuff. Um, so I would get a hold of this person first before you buy anything. Uh, Reimbursements might take some time. I've done reimbursements; they could take months because people just sit on this stuff and things don't happen. So unless you're cool with being out, like, I don't know, what's a MacBook cost these days, like $1,000. Unless you're cool with being out like $1,000 until they figure things out, that's on you. But yeah, I personally, me, I wouldn't go buy it right off the bat. I would ask. But good, I'm glad you're getting your VR&E stuff done. Very slept on um, benefit, very much so. Let me see here. Yeah. So everybody, welcome to the channel. Just sharing some stuff that I took a break from my class today. It's mostly online, but I had to go and shift over to my other love, which is the veteran community. And I'm trying to advance using these VR&E benefits, but I can only read so much so much textbook stuff and lectures and stuff before my brain starts getting fried. So yeah, the big thing this morning was the VA planning to scan millions of veteran claims for signs of fraud. I don't know how that's going to go. They're going to use AI for this stuff. It doesn't specify. I did a search of the article. It doesn't specify anything about 100%. Doesn't specify anything about PNT or anything like that. It just says, hey, to flag your stuff, they're going to make you go and get another CMP exam. That's it. Uh, as long as you're not like that one dude in the Washington Post who said he was paralyzed, and then he's sharing Facebook videos of doing backflips in a trampoline park with his kids. Uh, yeah, that would probably get you flagged. I read that, man. That's crazy. That was crazy. Here, let me share this again here. Anybody who wants to jump on here, feel free to jump on. You don't have to have your camera on, but it's great to connect um, with other veterans. I'm over here drinking my coffee, just writing down some notes, uh, messing with my 3D printer, connecting the stuff on my wall here, organizing my area to feel a little bit better. When you have your area all organized and everything has its place, it makes the soul feel good, doesn't it? Uh, let's see. Um, Decluttering, yes, absolutely. That was my issue after retiring, as I did finish my IT degree, and while I enjoyed it, school learning at an older age is so much difficult. Yes, it is. Navy cop, dude, you got it. You got it. So you all know, I think I've shared it here. The master's degree I'm going for is human behavioral psychology. The idea here is to um, potentially get a PhD in this stuff, right? Later on down the road, of course, because that stuff takes a long time. This week, I was able to connect with the behavioral psychology department at UCLA, specifically to study. I brought up the topic of studying veterans, military civilian transition, and the mental hit that they take, right? And how, and just kind of talk a little bit about that. We're going to have a Zoom meeting later on this month about it. I'm going to meet the research team because they're going to be transitioning into that study. So I told them I want in. What do I need to do? I don't go to UCLA, but I am willing to make the drive up there. It's like two hours or so. So I'm willing to do that for the sake of making sure that I fully understand what I'm getting into and how to assist veterans and what they're doing. There's a lot of mental shifts that we have to do going from a life of military service to a life of civilian life now, I suppose. Yes, the one sandwich. I'm curious about that screen name. What is there a meaning behind that? The one sandwich, 8706. Yes, decluttering. Absolutely. Let me see if I can share this here. This is fun. This is fun here. Image. Oh, actually, I have to send it from here. No, no, no. Here we go. I'll send this. I'll show you exactly what I'm working on. It does feel good to have everything in its place, though. It does. Um, Image file. Here we go. Yep. Why didn't it show up? Here we go. So yeah, this is what my space right here to my left looks like right now. I'm printing off all the stuff, getting everything decluttered, everything in its place. Got my cameras, got the headphones, DJI mics, all that good stuff back there. Lenses, my glasses, all that stuff. So I hate when things are out of place. This will help me out. And the best thing is this 3D printer will print off all the custom attachments, and there's a whole community of things that have already been printed off or designed. All you got to do is press print. It's pretty amazing. But yeah, that is what I'm working on today, aside from doing my lectures and discussion questions and all this goodness from being back in college and transitioning over to that uh, academic mindset. Military to civilian, civilian to education, education to whatever else happens there. Um, Homebody, Miss Katie, welcome. Let's see, I tried to utilize VR&E in 2021, and they said it was inactive unless my disability changed. Huh. I got my CDL after I was medically discharged. Hopefully, I'll be able to do it again. There's a need for all. Yeah, there is a need for it in all avenues. Absolutely. So they said it was inactive unless my disability changed. But you rated VR&E, right? I think it's what, 10%? You rated VR&E. Um, did you sign up prior to 2021 and then like kind of left it dormant and then try to do it again? Is that what they said it was It was inactive? Okay, 20%, yeah. So you rate it. You're at 20%. Yeah, you rate it. Is Chapter 33 worth it? Chapter 33 post 9/11 GI Bill? Is it worth it? Yes, it is. It is. I mean, it is a benefit that you received. I would say that you should, not you need to, you should use your VR&E benefits before touching your GI Bill benefits. I would say that. That way you have a full 48 months. Now, there is something that they sent out. Let me see if I have it here. When they send this thing out here. So I'm assuming you all know about the Rudisill decision. It was April 2024, I believe. Excuse me, that they um, this Army Captain Rudisill, he sued the government or the VA. They took it up to the Supreme Court because he wanted that extra 12 months when he went from the Montgomery GI Bill to the post 9/11 GI Bill. And they ended up winning the case, which is now called the Rudisill decision. And here, I'll share this on the screen here. I got an email saying that, here we go. Rudisill Perkins update. Dear VA education beneficiary, the Department of Veterans Affairs is making it easier for eligible veterans to receive their additional GI Bill benefits as a result of the Supreme Court's Rudisill decision and the United States Court of Appeals for Veteran Claims Veterans Court Perkins decision. Which steps should you take? There is no action for you to take. VA will automatically evaluate your file and inform you if you have additional if you inform you if additional action is required. If you already have filed a claim and have not yet received an official determination letter, please be aware that a decision is pending due to necessary system updates. You are no longer required to request an assessment of eligibility for both Montgomery GI Bill and post 9/11 GI Bill under the two court rulings. Instead, VA will continue to review eligibility for veterans with less than 3 months of education benefits left and who are either currently enrolled in school or who were enrolled in the last 6 months. Focusing on these priority veterans means that no student will be left behind, so left without benefits if they qualify for additional benefits under either ruling. So if you are, I suppose, if you are under this less than 3 months of educational benefits and in or and currently enrolled in school or were enrolled in the last 6 months, you don't have to file to receive those extra 12 months of Rudisill decision benefits. So that's what this is saying. And of course, you can read the background and all that stuff. Um, I don't know if everybody else got this. I got this on February 27th, so 12 days ago. Um, I'd check your emails, maybe your spam, to see what is going on there. I still filed. I haven't touched my GI Bill benefits. I still have the 36 months. I applied for the extra 12 months. This was like 2 months ago and it's still pending. Nothing has come about. So just FYI, keep track of that stuff. Let me see, going to the comments real quick. The bad sandwich. Did you have a question about chapter 33? It is worth it. It is worth it. 10 to 20% disability rates you eligible for VR&E, but doesn't guarantee. That's correct. You will get into the program. That is up to the counselor on whether your disability affects your ability to work. That's absolutely correct. Yes. You have to show that your current position or whatever you're doing exacerbates your service-connected disabilities or issues, and that making a change, a career change, would make you feel better, right? Or something to that effect. Would work out better for you. So it just cannot cause more issues with your current service-connected disabilities. So you can't be like, hey, I don't know, think of something that requires lifting. I can't go from this to that. I mean, you can go from like, hey, I'm tired of being a construction worker. I want to get my degree to go human resources. My back hurts because of my VA disabilities. Well, let's look at human resources jobs. And sure enough, they require a bachelor's in human resources, most of them. So most likely you will get approved for a human resources excuse me, degree. So think of it that way. You just have to be able to justify that. And of course, if you're a construction worker and you want to do human resources and you're a veteran and you rate VR&E, I don't see how they wouldn't approve you. It is a bit of a brick wall or heavy lift if you consistently run into bad counselors. Yeah, yeah, that's the issue is the inconsistency of the counselors. They should all follow the M28C M28C reference, which is what all it talks about the entire VR&E thing. However, it's all a lot of it is counselor dependent, so be aware of that. I was medically discharged before 2008. They changed the rule at that time. Now they don't expire. Yeah, excellent. Oh man, this is good stuff. Good stuff. Hazelnuts, coffee, throw some milk in there, mix it up with a little bit of cinnamon. Man, good stuff. Good stuff. Um, let's see what we got going on here. In office with just I'm just reading all these comments here, seeing what I may have missed. Yeah. All right. So let me go to these questions that I got, excuse me, on YouTube recently. Uh, okay, one gentleman on here says, "Oh gosh, where's his email? Where's his message? I mean, that's not it." Okay. I'm highly what? Where is this? Initial phase VRNE. Okay, this guy says he's highly interested in cybersecurity, worried about the math aspects of it due to TBI and a lack of any advanced math skills since high school in 1996. He's interested in unmanned aerial systems, with like drones, right, for agricultural, real estate, search and rescue. Background is military, bulk fuels in the Marine Corps, and in the Army. It was and Forward Observer, then civil affairs, psychological operations, and medic. Wow, this guy's been everywhere. As you already know, with the military, there are a lot of secondary and tertiary courses you get selected for, and sent to in order to bolster your unit. I'm a retired firefighter and am looking to continue in that field due to my disabilities. Okay. Um, so my response to him was that his VRC will not approve, will most likely not approve. I mean, again, it depends on how you justify it, but it also has to be, within the scope of your limitations as well. Um, VRC will likely not approve anything that may cause issues with your service-connected disabilities. If you're going for UAS, not sure they will cover the college route, but may cover the training costs for this path. Not sure that UAS has a college route. Maybe I'm wrong. I think it's like a series 7 to get your to get your pilot's license, UAS pilot's license. I told them that they told me that in the in-doc interview. That's why I kind of scratched my head on what to move forward with. Yeah, so I think this guy wants to do just a like a training thing, which VR&E can definitely do. But I use mine for the educational route. 660 Love, what's going on? Good morning. Still morning, right? Good morning. At least for me, it is 10:20 in the morning. Good morning. Yeah, look that up. Yeah, definitely do homebody, Miss Katie. Definitely do. So yeah, a lot of good comments on the YouTube channel here. A question about SBP, Survivor Benefits Plan, which is I love those questions because it's more people need to know about it. So currently, if you're in SBP, right, if you're retired, or I don't know if regular veterans, non-retirees get SBP, Survivor Benefits Plan. So essentially, if you opt into it when you go to pick up your D214 and sign off all the stuff at the admin section, they ask you, hey, look, do you, or at least on the paper, opt into SVP? And a lot of folks just end up opting in because they figured, oh, okay, well, I'd rather be safe than sorry, right? If you don't opt in then and there, you miss out on SBP. So SBP just kind of covers your family, gives you a percentage of your, it takes a percentage of your retirement money and gives it to your family should anything happen to you, should you pass away. And it's not a lot, right? If you're making like 3,000 a month from your retirement, then it gives them like a fraction of that, maybe like 1,100 or something like that, depending on how much you pay towards that. So it's kind of like an insurance thing, but it's expensive. It's expensive. I went and I got, when I got a life insurance plan, right? And it's more than what the SGLI covered, like double. And it costs less than what I was paying for SPP. The thing is, there's only certain times when you can opt out of the SPP. So my response to this gentleman, his question was, if you are 100% disabled, permanent, and total, could you opt out of the SPP immediately upon retiring instead of waiting the 5 years if the DIC, the dependent indemnity compensation, I believe, is enough coverage? Or would you still be required to do the 5 years minimum first of SPP payments, then opt out in order to get the DIC entitlement? Okay, so there's also the DIC entitlement, right? So they allow folks with 100% PNT to opt out of the SPP because of the whole DIC entitlement, the dependent entitlement. That means like if you pass away, due to a service-connected disability, they pay your family members or your next of kin or whoever you choose a certain amount. So per the reference, right, I'm going off of dfas.mil, right? A retiree may discontinue withdrawal from SPP, or I'm sorry, a retiree may withdraw from SPP, that means discontinue, if the retiree has a service-connected disability rated by the VA as totally disabling for 10 or more continuous years, or the retiree has had a total disability rating from the VA for at least 5 continuous years immediately following the last date of active duty. Now, there's also the time between your 24 months and 36 months where you have that 1 year to opt out, which is what I'm in right now. I'm within 24 and 36 months of my retirement day when I retired. I retired in December of 2023 from the Marine Corps. So I'm within that time frame. So I can opt out. I can never opt in again. I don't ever get that money back that I contributed towards the SPP. So there's that. Or you have the option of not even opting in and they don't take any of that money. So it's like $300 a month. I mean, it's no small amount, right? You can do a whole lot with $300 a month. Why does what was the question? Why does TG really have 4 open live I have 4 open live streams? How does that work? Thank you for letting me know. Now you make me go over here and check on it, man. Open live streams. Let me see. Live, live, live. Okay, so I should have a vertical live stream and I should have a horizontal live stream. I don't know about 4 of them. Um, Strange. Let's see. To jump through hoops on the VA, people who never actually saw combat. The real war pig. Real war pig. Welcome to the Green Logbook, man. The only people who have to jump through hoops at the VA are people who never actually saw combat. I'm a Purple Heart recipient from Iraq, and I have one doctor appointment before my 100% rating. Yeah, one doctor appointment, huh? That's incredible, man. So one of your you must have like one of your issues must be sufficient enough for the 100%. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't speculate on who. I have not seen anybody's medical record, but I mean, but I also have heard of people who have been to combat, who have not received that 100% rating. So I mean, it's different scenarios. But I'm glad you got yours, man. Good stuff. Navy Cop, are you running the standard along with the military? No, no. So the military retirement podcast, I only do that on Sundays, Sunday mornings. That's the one that I do with my co-host John. And right now, I'm just doing the green logbook, both vertical and horizontal. Just trying it out, seeing what works. It's an option. So what you might be seeing is maybe the same thumbnail, maybe across all these. I don't know. Interesting though. I'd like to get more information. Make sure I'm not running like multiple live streams at one time. I hope not. Oh man. So yeah, a whole lot of stuff going on in the veteran space. I'm still a little salty about that Major Ridges Star Act too. Still a little salty about that. I was just talking about it. Somebody I was talking to it about somebody yesterday. They're like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Come on, man. Let's. How much time you got? Let me educate you on this real quick on what's happening." Major Ridges Star Act. Let me see. What else we got going on in the veteran space here? I live just south of Wisconsin. Right on. South of Wisconsin, huh? Veterans are pissed. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure they are. Um, I mean, why can't we find money to pay these veterans? I don't know, but that's above my pay grade right now. I mean, I have a voice. We all have a voice, right? We can all voice our concerns, but um, you know, we've already shown that we have the power to make changes. Remember the whole Doug Collins thing with the whole what they were trying to push with the medical stuff. Um, that was changed, right? Your congressman, yeah. This one I saw as well. This let's pull this up here. This was another one who showed up on my radar every so often. I have this thing where like 20 minutes of deep work and then like 5-10 minutes of just relaxing or just taking off, right? Of From reading my school stuff or work stuff. And I came across this article here, and there's more reputable sites. I don't know about Police One, but I mean it's on several sites. California Police Department chief plans to fire 3 officers suspended for using disabled military veteran license plates. After the 3 officers, all rated 100% disabled by the VA, were suspended in May 2025, they sued the Riverside Police Department for discrimination. Okay, so uh, the officers were all rated 100% VA disabled by the Veterans Administration, which certified that they were eligible for the DMV issued license plates, according to a lawsuit filed against the department. The lawsuit states that when the officers were suspended on May 21st, 2025, department officials told them they were being accused of making false claims about their physical limitations in order to obtain the plates, which provide parking privileges and reduced fees. Those suspensions, the lawsuit says, discriminated against the officers based on their status as disabled veterans. Yeah, so a lot of stuff here, a lot of stuff to unpack. Okay, so um, Riverside Police, right? I know where Riverside is. Excuse me. Um, Again, I have an issue with the word disabled, and I think if you've been a part of this channel for a while, you probably know that. Being a disabled veteran does not mean you cannot work. Now, given the job you have, the optics are a little strange, right? If these folks are, police officers and they're 100% VA disabled, um, the optics are a little strange, right? Now, disabled doesn't necessarily mean physically disabled. It can mean anything, right? Mental, and whatever happened to your body. I think there is that picture that we have when you think VA disabled. When you think disabled, I mean, the license plate has a little thing, the little person in the wheelchair. That's what we think about, right? You have to be like in a wheelchair or on crutches or something to be disabled. No, it's not. That's not correct. That 100% VA disability comes in many forms. So I anticipate that these officers are going to win this case because of this. I mean, depending on what their VA disability is, I don't know, but this was an interesting one. They plan to fire 3 suspended officers suspended for using disabled military veteran license plates. I mean, it is one of the benefits, right? When you get 100% VA disability, to get your license plate. And I think you have to, your registration fees are waived if you get that license plate. So depending on what kind of car you drive, how much registration fees are, I mean, that could be a significant amount of money. So it's interesting to see that. Let me see. Got a whole bunch of Illinois folks over here, right? I see in the chat in the comments. Yeah, I saw that. It's California, so no surprise there. Yeah, California is it's a special place, man. It is. It's very different. I grew up in Florida, and then I live in California right now. And it's a very different vibe out here. Very different vibe for sure. However, there's a ton of veterans that live out here too. A ton. So there's no shortage of that. I don't I don't say disabled, I say endangered veteran. Are you endangered? Click twice if you're okay. Homebody, Miss Katie. Let's see, I'm a disabled veteran and the only woman doing LTL trucking. What is LTL trucking? I'm not familiar with the trucking lingo. And I run circles around most of these guys, but my knees can't take it anymore. Yeah, it's the knees, right? The knees. They go knees and then the lower back. It's funny how when I hit like 40, like I started feeling everything. And I would read that stuff online, and I thought, "Oh, that's" um, I guess depending on how much abuse your body has taken, but yeah, it's like I used to be a runner. I used to run a lot. Have ran marathons, half marathons, and then like all of a sudden, bam, just started feeling the pains. It's crazy how that works. Oh, okay, less than a truckload. Okay, gotcha, gotcha. So knowing that I'm currently trapped in a state that just passed an unconstitutional income tax. Washington likes to try to outdo California. So, yeah, that's, I don't know where this is going. I saw something. I mean, the gas prices are going up crazy, and I saw something here. Let me see if I can find it. I had somebody text me about this. Crazy stuff. 2 hours ago. Let's see what comes up here. It was gas prices in Los Angeles were like at $8 a gallon. Um, oh gosh, I'm trying to find it here. Somebody had text me about it. I mean, it's not anywhere near that where I am. I mean, it'll probably get up pretty close to that, but um, yeah, that's insane. In Los Angeles, yeah, but I mean, Los Angeles is an expensive place to live too. Yeah, $8.29 is the highest at a food mart. Let's see if I can share the screen here. This is pretty incredible. Share screen or share window. Here we go. Share window. It's posted 2 days ago. 8:29, 8:21. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not. I'm thankful I'm not. I don't live in Los Angeles, but holy crap, man! Can you imagine that? I wouldn't even. I would just use my leave days and just not even go to work or to request to telework or something. That's expensive, man. Yeah, times are changing. What are we gonna do? Scary stuff. Yeah, so that was, Homebody Miss Katie, that was in Los Angeles. It doesn't specify where, but I've noticed, like, I live in San Diego, so there's, just a month ago, gas here was 3.99, now it's like 4.89, something like that, so it's getting up there. It definitely is. Thankfully, I do a lot of my work from home, so I don't have to drive too much. The other car is in use. This one here is I'm here. Says, well, we are well over $5 here, but we have also the highest gas taxes in the country. Isn't that crazy? I mean, everything's just getting more expensive. I was just talking to the dude at Costco. So I buy there's a butcher that I usually go to, but sometimes when I'm feeling a little lazy, I just go to Costco to pick up some meat. And I like to get like the thinner sliced ribeye because you get like 6 steaks. And they used to be, oh gosh, just a few months ago, man, they were probably like $50 for like 6 or 7 steaks, like kind of thinner sliced. And I went yesterday and they were like 75 to $80 for the same kind. Same kind of weight too. And I'm like, shit, man, things are going up. And I was joking with the guy who was putting the steaks out, the guy that works at Costco there. Um, I'm like, man, is it me or have these steaks gone up? He's like, dude, they go up like a couple cents every week, like or every day. So it's getting a little crazy out there. Get your wallets ready. Yeah, I can see that. It's expensive to run things out here in California. It really is. Um, I was looking to do an LLC out here in Cali and transfer mine from I think it was from Hawaii because I had um, my old business was based out of Hawaii. I think it was like $800 just to register the business here. Hawaii was like 40. You know, I was even looking at Florida too, but yeah, it's expensive out here to do anything. And then there's like no veteran small business relief or anything like that. I'm sure I could find some kind of a grant or something that'll cover that, but it's freaking expensive, man. It is. That's why I've been looking like out of country, man. Because I'll tell you, remember when I traveled over to Guatemala a few months ago? I was doing some videos out there. Um, you could live like a freaking king out there. You could live great out there with like 2,000 a month. House, groceries, all that stuff. A car, a little used car. Live amazing out there. Not so much Costa Rica. I went to Costa Rica too. Beautiful out there as well, but it's getting a little expensive. So just know that. Here, I'm gonna share this again. Do the so I'm sharing a link here. If anybody wants to jump on the live stream, it's all good fun. Just sharing some coffee, talking some stuff about veteran info, what you like, what you don't like, what's going on in your life, things like that. Uh, Costa Mesa is nice. Yeah. My cousin has two coffee shops out there. Hola Adios in Costa Mesa in Old Town Tustin. Very cool. Haven't been to Tustin, Costa Mesa. I think I passed through there before. Yeah. Yeah. That's good to have a shorter commute. Excellent. 7 minutes. I'm thinking about doing the old Dumb and Dumber and getting the little moped, get 50 miles a gallon on this hog. I'm looking at shutting down my LLC until I move to Idaho. Between last year and this year, our governor has signed in back-to-back taxes increase and killing small business and large. Yeah, it makes you wonder, right? Why why are they making it so hard for the small businesses? Is that not what they should want? Is it all about big business now? Things to think about. I wish I could in the truck. Just swap out that diesel engine with a Honda Civic engine. You'll be all right. I want to give a quick shout out to Veteran Brew Coffee Company out of Texas. I have not been able to try it yet. I'm still waiting on getting a little, was it bean grinder or coffee grinder? But they sent me this. It's called the Sovereign Blend, Veteran Brew Coffee Company. Shout out to them, and look forward to trying that out here the next few days. Shit, I might not even order it from online. Just go to Walmart real quick and get a little coffee grinder. They're doing good things out there. I might even take a little trip. I've never been out to Texas. I tell folks that, I 20 years in the Marine Corps, been around Texans my whole life, and never been out there. And Might take a little trip out there. I've got family in Houston, and then I think this Veteran Brew Coffee Company is right outside Houston as well, so, might have to check them out. Did you say you need 3-spoon engines with Motec exhaust systems before a race wars, Vic? That's right. I need nitrous, a whole lot of it, and, family. That's it. That was my jam, man, the whole Fast and Furious, man. It was, I remember I had a whole body kit on my car, and we went to go see that movie at the theater when it first came out. I was in high school, and man, it was, everybody was out there. It was great. It was that those were fun times. Those were fun times. Then I got a trespassing warrant at a Kmart parking lot because we all met up there, and then all the cops came and they blocked off all the exits and entrances, and then they started giving out tickets and warrant and trespassing warrants and stuff like that to folks. It was just a bunch of people. It was just like a car meetup, a big car meetup. I just happened to be there. But yeah, I probably spent too much money on my car that I'm looking back on it now. I'm like, man, I for what? Because the car got totaled like a year later. Pain in the ass. But yeah, I could use 3-spoon engines, man, with Motec exhaust. I have found myself looking at a lot of Toyota Supras online. That is one of my loves, Toyota Supras. So I've been looking at some of those. Not saying I'm pulling the trigger or buying anything. They are expensive, but yeah, those are between that and maybe like a mid '90s Nissan 240 SX. Hell yeah. Looking at tax high earners, so they are leaving the state. So slamming small businesses to offset. It's a huge spending problem with our state government. Even gets are getting hit. Oh, vets. I think you mean. Yeah, yeah, I can see that. Um, there are definitely better states, more veteran friendly states than all of these. Um, I have even I have looked up. If you look at my search history, I've looked up like VA loan overseas, which I don't think you can do. Um, Foreign schools, like using VR&E or using GI Bill overseas, you can still get a stipend. You can still use your stuff at a foreign school. So, been looking some of that stuff up, just to give me some options because I don't know. I don't know. California's getting a little crazy. I want to go to the mothership. I don't know what that means. Please elaborate. You got you got impounded that night? Oh, the night that, Fast and Furious came out? Dude, I remember I parked at it was an ale house. It was an ale house, and I went inside to go eat, and I came back out, and some truck had backed right into my car and just completely, like, smashed it, man, like, the whole quarter panel, and I couldn't even open my door. Driver's side door was complete. It was trashed. So, I was pissed off about that. From then on, I just stopped putting money into the car unless it's absolutely necessary, like oil and, transmission fluid and stuff like that. Let's see here. I'm currently messing with a third generation GS350. Very nice. Get yourself an SC300. It's got the same 2KZ for half the price. Yeah, my one of my neighbors down the road has an SC300 in really nice condition. Um, they are nice. They are nice as long as they're taken care of. They're the popular ones, the popular vehicles are either I don't like potentially getting a vehicle whose engine has been messed with or altered or whatever, and you find a lot of those. Like I was looking for an old Civic hatchback at one point, and then you couldn't find one that was untouched. So it's yeah, yeah. I was gonna say I was yeah the J yeah 2JZ. Illinois does give you relief on property taxes. Oh, okay, Austin, Texas. I was looking at North Carolina a while back. I really like North Carolina. I was stationed out there for a while, and I like the outdoors. Um, just wanted to get some land and just build a house in between, like in the middle of the woods. I got nobody sees me. I don't see anybody else. Just kind of, I go out when I want and come back to my compound, if you will. Yeah. So North Carolina was. I used to vacation a lot in Hendersonville, North Carolina, close to Asheville, but Hendersonville, North Carolina was a beautiful area. I loved it out there. It's got like a nice little old town and all that. It's a nice little downtown area. And they had a place called Bat Cave, North Carolina. Have you ever heard of that? Very. It's over by the Blue Ridge Mountains. Yeah, so all those areas by the Blue Ridge Mountains, very cool spot. You meet some interesting people too. So, damn, I don't know what just happened. I pressed backspace and I was gone. Am I back on the live? I don't know what the hell just happened. So let's close this out. Let's close this out here. So yeah, a lot of stuff happening in the veteran space. Yeah, I'm back running, bro. Yes, I am. Good. Mo perspective. Welcome, welcome. October 2025 Ed. Welcome, man. Going over my tax refund. Oh yeah, taxes. Shit, man. Just don't remind me, dude. I got all my tax stuff here, all my paperwork stuff there. I'm trying to put away. Best thing is scan that stuff and save it in a couple different places. That way I don't have to keep all the paper. I don't go on base to get my meat. Are we talking about like steak? What are we talking about there, Brandon Scales? Um, yes, I do. I go to the commissary to get food. Um, when I'm in the area, I will. So it's either there's a butcher down close to where I am. Um, there is the Costco every so often because that's really close. Or I'll go to the commissary. But yeah, sometimes I'll go there. But even the commissary is getting a little expensive too. I made a joke that I sometimes put on my uniform when I go to the commissary just so I can bypass all the other civilians in line. You gotta let folks in uniform go first. Of course, I don't do that now with this facial hair here. I gotta shave, right? Be within regs. See what else I got going on in the veteran sphere. So I'll tell you, I woke up with a freaking pounding headache this morning. I do some writing at night, and I was in my bed well last night, and I was doing some writing on there, and my notebook, right, one of these, and I had a little LED light, and the LED light was shining right here to the left, and I woke up, and just this left side of my face was pounding. Just the left side of like my brain and my eye was pounding, probably because that freaking LED light. So, word of advice: don't look at LED lights before you go to sleep. It will mess you up. Yeah, Brandon Scales, Costco's not bad, man. It is not bad. Hold on, what the hell's going on? It's like a group of freaking ladies outside talking with their stroller. Hold on. Okay, close the window there. Yeah, Costco's not bad, man. It isn't bad for some of the meats. I personally like getting the ribeye steak, the thin ribeyes, and they have shabu shabu. So if you ever had shabu shabu meat, it's like the Japanese kind of like really thin sliced. Um, but they have like they slice the ribeye, and I make Philly cheesesteaks with that. So really freaking good, man. Put some provolone cheese on there, some green onions, or not green peppers, some onions, mix it all up, a little bit of salt, pepper. Oof, getting hungry now. But yeah, shabu shabu, that thin ribeye steak, so good, so good. Do they sell green logbooks at the commissary? No, they don't. They don't sell green logbooks. I have any here? I got some here. I got a bunch of green logbooks from my time. Got this one. Like these? No, they don't sell these at the commissary. This is one of my old green logbooks. Fairly unused, but they also got the larger ones. These like this. Remember these guys? This one is completely unused. I think. Yeah. I don't know what the hell I was writing about in here. It's good to go down memory lane. No, they don't sell them at the commissary. I don't even think they sell them at the exchange. You have to get those through ServMart. Those are like for folks who either federal employees or it's like the big warehouse where they sell like supplies. You can also order them online, like Amazon. They might be a little bit more priced or higher priced. I don't know where else they sell green logbooks. Like I had like a bunch of them. I would forget that I had a new one and then grab another one, and I'm like, "Oh, I'll just use this one after." So, got a few of those. Yeah, yeah. Go to let me see. I think Amazon has them. Green logbooks. You have to get the ones with the NSN on them. Those are the legit ones. I do have. Let me see these guys here. I do have these guys here that I'm going to be potentially putting up for sale. So I connected with a active duty gunnery sergeant who runs this leather company out of Virginia. So this guy made me some custom. Um, these are like fit the field notes. These are green leather field note covers. So see about getting a few of these. Stamp on the green logbook on the back here, really small. So potentially this will happen. I have like my brown one here, and I mean essentially that's what it looks like right there. Good little piece of gear. Take that everywhere I go. All right, Navy cop, good stuff, man. 1 second here. Let me see here. Live. Save. Save. Okay. Mo perspective. So you had a question here. Vic, I have a civilian friend who owns a business but wants to get into housing for veterans. Where can I tell her to start? Wants to get into housing for veterans. All right, specify like wants to rent their house to veterans or wants to get into housing for veterans. Yeah, just give me more information on that. I'm unsure if maybe this person wants to rent a house to veterans uh specifically or what or like homeless veterans like yeah let me know. Oh, okay, wants to buy homes that house veterans. Now are we talking about um to rent to veterans or are we talking about to house homeless populations? Are we talking about maybe getting like in with maybe like the government thing like section 8 type thing there's a lot that goes into that. I know how to do it for like active duty. Like if you wanted to rent your house straight to like active duty folks, um, you go to the housing office and you put your house on the list at the housing office. And if something comes up where maybe they have uh, no openings on base housing, they will then go to the next ones on the list, which would happen to be that house. Low income housing for vets. Oh, I would go with the city first. I mean, I don't know exactly specifically for veterans. I don't know. I'd have to do some digging on that. That's a good question, though. Low income housing for veterans. Hmm. Yeah, well, perspective. I'll do some search on that. That's an interesting question. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, so I know folks who rent out to veterans, but they didn't specifically advertise to veterans. So it just so happens that people that they were veterans that they rented out to. I don't know how to exactly specify that. Not yet, I don't, but I will find out. I don't know, but I will find out. That is the appropriate answer there. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know if you all saw that. I in New York State, passed I think it takes effect on October 1st, 2026. The governor passed a new bill saying that they are giving 100% VA disabled veterans property tax exemptions in New York State. Very cool. Oh man, this is not good. 15 minutes ago, Minnesota. Minnesota continues to lose about 100 veterans to suicide each year, new data says. The Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs suicide prevention plan will be phased in during the next 4 years. Okay, so that is concerning. Um, I will say this: If you are experiencing any kind of issues, if you maybe need somebody to talk to, give me a second here. Yeah, if you're experiencing any issues, maybe a depressive moment, issues of anxiety, because there's a lot going on in the news, there's a lot going on in the world, and you need somebody to talk to about that. Just understand that you are not alone. Understand that you can call 988, the Veterans Crisis Line. You can, my preferred method is to reach out to another veteran, to another person, to reach out to them directly, to have that human to human, person to person contact, and just talk. I mean, friendship goes a long way. An ear goes a long way. So I would say if you are not in a good state, if you feel like maybe things are getting a little bit worrisome and you feel maybe alone, reach out to someone to talk. I mean, this is a big reason why this here exists. This right here. Not only does it feel good for me to connect with other veterans, um, it it's a way for the community to connect, to talk, to chat, to jump on the live stream if you want to. Um, I will share this on the live stream here. So as I always do, uh, jump on the live stream if you want, if you have questions, if you're not, afraid of maybe being on camera or just having your voice heard or whatever. It's just fun to connect with other veterans. And that's why I do this. Still drinking coffee and building camaraderie. Um, this is, after this, I bring this up because of this article. I'm looking at CBS News. Minnesota continues to lose about 100 veterans to suicide each year. New data says, and just need to know that you're not alone. I, I'll keep it at that. You're not alone. A lot of us have issues, and a lot of us have ears to listen. So, okay. Somebody had brought up HUD VASH. Okay, HUD Veterans Affairs Supportive Housing. Uh, oh, here we go. Mo Perspective. If you are still looking for an answer to that, thank you for bringing that up, Brandon Scales. Specifically on here, let me share the screen here. Yeah, Mo Perspective, if you're still watching. It says, are you a landlord interested in renting to veterans? Contact the local public housing authority to share information about upcoming unit vacancies. Find general resources for landlords participating in the HCV program here. Let's click here. Resources, topic. Okay. Well, these are just resources. Local public. I'm not sure where you are, Mo Perspective, but I think you were in California. I'm not sure where you are now. Let's just look here. Let's look Virginia. Ah, okay. It gives you all the information here. So there you are. I'll share that link in the comments here. Where are you? There you are. Bamses. Here we go. For veteran housing options. Bam, on the spot, on research on the live stream. That's how I like to do it. Yeah, there you go. So all good stuff. Yeah, 988 Veterans Crisis Line. Do not forget. It's important that we keep you all here. We stay here together. News inspired by detectives. Army veteran who survived major missile blast in Iraq sounds alarm on TBIs. I'm curious about this because TBIs are a big issue here, everywhere, not here. Let's read together, shall we? Army veteran who survived major missile blast in Iraq sounds alarm on TBIs. Alan Johnson survived a ballistic missile attack while deployed in Iraq. Now he and others are encouraging lawmakers on Capitol Hill to swiftly reform how traumatic brain injuries are detected and studied. Hell yeah. They should be studied a little bit more. Mo perspective, I am not streaming on Facebook. I Does it show up on Facebook? I'm not I hope not. I don't have it set up for Facebook. Unless it's not me. Could it be? Yeah, I just logged into Facebook right now, and as far as I know, I'm not streaming on there. So, my late friend volunteered for a TBI clinic dedicated to vets in Kentucky. I thought it was already being studied as well. So some of these studies, I mean, they get studied, and things just kind of die down. It's just, I think he just brought up a lot of new pieces that could be studied on there. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm very interested in the studies myself. I reached out to the Department of Behavioral Health at UCLA recently, um, to talk to them about the veteran community. Specifically, it was, let me see if I can give you. Uh, the science of connection. The science of connection, and let's see. What did she say here? They're looking to do a study on veterans over at the UCLA Department of Psychology. Relationships between members of the military when they serve and after, and how we can improve their mental health through these bonds is a topic we were considering as a future application to the research in my lab. So I reached out to this department of UCLA, the associate professor there, about jumping on the team to help out with the research. Like, I'm doing my master's in human behavioral psychology using VR&E for this stuff. Um, and I really am passionate about this, about not just like military civilian transition, but also like helping out vets with TBI, PTSD, things like that. Um, the, the bonds that we created in the military and how we can do that in outside world, because civilian life is a lot different. Um, so later on this month, possibly in April, I'm meeting up with some folks from the Department of Psychology at UCLA to look into that, potentially jump on their team. Because I feel like I have something to offer. I hope so. We will see. Mo perspective. Is it true that children and spouses can no longer can get GI Bill benefits when they're a veteran parent? I know a guy who's 100% and his kid has to pay out of pocket for the last 2 months. Not that I've seen. Yeah, not that I've seen. They could be backed up and not have received their GI Bill benefit for the last 2 months. That could be a thing, but let me see. GI Bill. Yeah, from what I understand, the actual GI Bill benefit has been increased rather than decreased. So, yeah, I'm no update on that. They could just be backed up on the payments, and they potentially have to pay out of pocket for 2 months, but they should get reimbursed. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out this guy speaking on Facebook or somewhere. Johnson, right? Is his name? Major Alan Johnson, retired. If you're asking about a link to no VA disability or no GI Bill changes, I don't have a link. I just looked up changes to GI Bill. There's been nothing. I mean, it still shows that GI Bill they're actually increasing it um, due to the Rudisill decision, which is the 12 months extra. So I think it was yesterday, but he was saying that some people were tested right away. I'm assuming for TBI, and symptoms don't show up right away. He was giving his medical opinion. Huh. Are we talking about TBI here? I can see that, right? When you come back from deployment, they have you do that the post health assessment (PHAs), and sometimes later on down the road, you might be experiencing some issues, and that things don't just pop up right away. So I mean, all the more reason to keep up with your medical examinations and going to medical and revisiting that stuff because you never know, right? Things might not show up right after you leave deployment. Yeah, dealing with the brain and skull can have lasting effects and lay dormant. Yeah, it can, and little things can trigger that. I mean, I'm no doctor, and I've come across some research and stuff that little things, memories, and things like that, experiences that bring back those experiences that you may have had, either mortar fire or something like that, while deployed, can trigger something in the mind. You could be very fine 1 minute, and then weeks later, a sound, a smell, something, and then something happens in your mind, it triggers that. So, yeah, very true. Again, I'm no doctor, right? But I have I feel like I've read enough about this to kind of be able to speak a little bit about it. Actually, let me look at this guy's stuff. Major Alan Johnson. Let's see. Alan Johnson. Oh, here we go. Retired Army Colonel, Lieutenant Colonel. Okay. So I'll watch his stuff here in a few, but I did see him on here. Flight surgeon. Um, yeah, I'll watch stuff in a few here. Yeah, but very good stuff. We covered a whole lot today. Oh man, where do I begin here? Let me pull this thing up here. Share screen, window, BAMSIS, all good. Yeah, starting with this, VA plans to scan a million veteran claims for signs of fraud. Um, I mean, I wouldn't get too caught up on this. If your stuff is legit, you should be good to go. The only issue with this is that they're going to be using AI to scan all this stuff. AI can be, very good, but it can also have its faults too. So I anticipate there's going to be folks who maybe did everything correctly and still get hit up. So just be aware of that. I wouldn't worry too much about this. I'm not in on this whole fear mongering game that folks play online. So just be aware of what's out there, what's happening. Um, don't don't get your heart rate up. Don't become over anxious about this stuff. VA plans to scan a million veteran claims for signs of fraud. You can read the article. I'll put the article on here. Let me copy this. Bam. VA. The hell do I title this thing? VA fraud article. So there you go. That's in the comments there. VA plans to scan a million veteran claims for signs of fraud. Let me see. And if your stuff gets flagged, then they just make you do another CMP exam. They're looking at DBQs. So where is it? There will be some fraud found, but a lot of DBQs will be questioned that may not be fraud. Yeah, we anticipate that. The plan is to use the tool to reanalyze DBQs dating to 2010 and flag claims with potential problems. The tool will use artificial intelligence to look for signs that medical evidence was exaggerated or invented. So just be aware of that. Again, not trying to trigger anything or make anybody anxious or anything like that. Just understand what the VA is doing. It's all an educational thing. Let's see, what else did we cover here? This was a fun one. Yeah, right. California Police Department chief plans to fire 3 officers suspended for using disabled military veteran license plates. After the 3 officers, all rated 100% disabled by the VA, were suspended in May 2025, they sued the Riverside Police Department for discrimination. Again, just because you have a VA disability doesn't mean that you are not able to work. Now, I'm not sure about the line of work that these 3 officers are doing. If you're just doing like admin work and all that, sitting at a desk, it shouldn't exacerbate things unless you have some kind of something going on mentally, or even like a lower back or, whatever the case may be. I'm no doctor, so I can't really speak on that. But just because you have a VA disability doesn't mean that you are not able to work. I think that's the view that folks get, right? Oh, this guy's got a VA disability. He's got a license plate with a little disabled person on it. They expect you to get out the car in a wheelchair or something like that. That's not always the case. So maybe the case for some, not always the case for everyone. Many disabilities are not visible. So I anticipate, again, that these officers will win their case, but without knowing all the facts. I'm just looking at the title. That's what I anticipate. And let me see here. We talked a little bit about this. Pentagon says about 140 U.S. troops have been injured in the Iran war so far, 8 severely. And I think a Navy cop brought up a good point on here. Like uh, I did a quick search. This doesn't specify whether or not they've been injured due to like aircraft mishaps, training mishaps. I doesn't specify. It just says injured. So it leads you to believe that due to boots on the ground or war efforts or something like that. Um, Curious to see what else comes out about this. So, uh, do I like reading about this stuff? No, not really. I don't like reading that anybody has been injured, but like I mentioned at the beginning, when you do join the military, there is that potential that you could be in a kind of a sketchy, dangerous area. Same thing happened to me when I joined. I joined a year later. I found myself on a flight to Kuwait City and on a bus to Camp TQ, Iraq. And so I knew that there was a potential of going out there, potential of danger. Let's see here. And also just understand that that Rudisill Act is going to be automatic. At least that's what the VA is saying. That extra 12 months, as long as you have under 3 months of GI Bill left, or if you're in school under 6 months, then that Rudisill Act should be automatic, according to an email I received. And I think those emails went out February 27th. So check your spam folder. Let's see if I got it here. Oh, I got it somewhere here. Anyway, yeah, just understand that. So you can still apply for the Rudisill Act if you have more than that. I applied for it. I'm using VR&E. I still got my full 36 months of GI Bill left. I have not touched my VR&E, or excuse me, I have not touched the GI Bill, but I have applied for the Rudisill Act. It's been like 2 months and they're still reviewing it. So I understand that there's a whole waiting list and all that stuff. So I'm not too worried about it. So just understand that it might take quite a while to get stuff approved. Same as the VR&E. Somebody brought up the VR&E stuff on here. Your your counselor is more like counselor slash case manager. They have a lot going on at one time. So understand that it may take a while to hear back from them. It may take a while to get approved for VR&E. I anticipate it's going to take several months from the time that you apply to the time you're actually sitting in class, several months to a year, maybe. It took me close to about a year from the time I applied, changed a couple things up with my major, and then this is my second week of class now. So things take a while, but there's a potential that you get a lot of stuff paid for. Monthly housing allowance with VR&E. They pay for your classes. They pay for your equipment, like your laptop. I opted for a MacBook. They're sending me a printer, Office 365, and I requested a new desk, new chair, headphones, footrest. What else did I request? I requested a whole bunch of stuff, man. I can't recall. A new backpack, all this stuff, just to make sure I'm successful, right? And you can do it too. You can do it too. I'm nobody special. I just kind of went through what they required, and I made a whole video on it if you're interested. So of how I got my foot in the door with for a master's degree using VR&E. It wasn't difficult, but it wasn't the easiest either. Big part of this is the justification piece. Oh, Mo perspective. I truly appreciate you. Thank you very much. Um, Thank you Vic, for all the updates. You don't fear monger, rather keep us informed. Yeah, yeah. Should I fear monger a little bit? No, no, I shouldn't. No, it's fun to stay engaged with the veteran community. Like I mentioned, it feels good for me. It's almost like a form of therapy for me to stay engaged here, and a form of camaraderie. It gives me a purpose to my day and drinking my coffee. So I truly appreciate you all for being here, and for everything that you all do. Um, you guys keep me on my toes and ask me questions and keep me engaged and give me homework to do with research. So, and also, Mo Perspective, I put it up top, um, the link to the veteran housing question you had. It is on HUD.gov, and I believe it was Brandon Scales who mentioned HUD-VASH. And on that website, it has housing choice vouchers for veterans. So for landlords and things like that. So definitely check that out. Um, the hell did I just read? Navy Navy cop. What the hell? Request a robot from U.S. Robotics to fan you with palm frond and feed you grapes. Ah, like a Roman king or something. I mean, why not? You can request anything you want, whether it gets approved or not. That's a whole different thing. I requested a 34-inch curved monitor for my desk. You can request anything. You could request coffee grounds from Veteran Brew Coffee Company. Well, I'm glad you had fun, homebody, Miss Katie. Welcome back anytime. It's we do a live stream on Sundays called the Military Retirement Podcast. So if you don't know, I run a podcast with another retired Chief Warrant Officer 3. I myself am a retired Chief Warrant Officer 3 from the Marine Corps. My co-host is a retired Chief Warrant Officer 3 from the Army. And it's on Sundays at 8 in the morning. It's kind of hard to get the time frames down because he is located in Sicily and I'm located in Southern California. So we had to work with time zones. So 8 in the morning, Sundays is the one that worked best for us, given his work schedule, given my school schedule and work and all that stuff. So just know that that's every Sunday. If you're on Facebook, please consider jumping on this. It's called the Military Retirement Group on Facebook. It's a group of veterans and service members that I created probably about a year and a half ago, maybe. Um, Kind of like this, right? To share good information on what's happening, things that may affect folks in their retirement journey or even beyond that. So it's called the Military Retirement Group on Facebook. I'm the admin there. If you jump on that, you can definitely, I'll add you on there. Let me see here. I want to give a quick shout out to, we have some show sponsors. So please stick around real quick. Some show sponsors, American Fidelity Life Insurance. I'm going to have the vice president of American Fidelity Life Insurance on pretty soon. We're going to talk about one of the things that is near and dear to my heart, something that I wish I would have done when I was leaving the service right before I did my VA disability, but I didn't because I just didn't have enough information on that. That was apply for life insurance. And American Fidelity Life Insurance really educated me on that. And they're one of the show sponsors. And we also have Movement Financial, Josh Cantrell, retired Army. He runs Movement Financial. Awesome dude. And also have Wild Bill's Craft Beverage Company. So Wild Bill's, they're looking for veterans to become franchisees. Awesome dude. He's a he's a former Navy veteran, and he runs his awesome company. He's the CEO of Wild Bills. You can find him at drinkwildbills.com, and he's looking to connect with veterans to bring them on to be their own bosses. Essentially, they give you all the support, and it's 50% off franchise fees for veterans and first responders. So drinkwildbills.com. Get with Mike. Let him know that Vic from the Green Logbook sent you, and he'll hook you up 50% off of all franchise fees. Good stuff. Let's see here. What are we talking about here? On my way to VA. On my way to the VA right now from the next appointment. Good. Much luck, man. Have fun out there. Drink some of that good VA coffee. I requested a chair. My doc wrote a letter. Hope it gets approved. Yeah, it's all about the ergonomics, safety and ergonomics. I'm requesting a Herman Miller, just FYI, like one of the best chairs you can get, best ergonomic chairs. We'll see what happens with that. Awesome. Glad to hear it. I don't here we go. It sounds like Vic has a kind of like, no, no, no luck. It is just about justification. I did many years of military justice and investigations, and I just and fitness reports and stuff like that. I just know how to word things. If you need assistance with it, I can definitely help you with justifications and things like that. The requesting a robot from U.S. Robotics with a palm frond and grapes is probably not going to fly. That might be outside of the scope of what the VA will will provide me. But also check with your schools too. They can provide you stuff too. Like I got free Grammarly. I got some other stuff like Google One or something like that. It was like a discounted rate because of the school. Um, there's a bunch of stuff. Once you're in school, there's a whole bunch of stuff you can get. I had to get an autonomous chair. Okay, and the Herman Miller is out of my financial ability. Yeah, the Herman Miller is definitely they're expensive, but why not? I have an old one. I'm using an old one here. It's an old Herman Miller, probably like the first version 1, version negative 1.0. I don't know, but I'm requesting another one because this one's kind of, it's not feeling too good. Tony Slaughter, what's going on, man? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, good stuff. All right, so with that, yeah, we covered a whole lot. I'd say if you are feeling like maybe you need to talk to somebody, if you're feeling like maybe life is getting tough, overwhelming, maybe too much news is giving you a lot of anxiety, maybe it's giving you heart palpitations, things like that. Uh, you always have that number 988, the Veteran Crisis Line. You always have channels like this. Hopefully, this helps you all out. Seems like folks are having some good times here, so feel free to always reach out. If you have any questions, jump on the chat, whatever you feel is necessary. I'll try to do this every Wednesday. Um, like I mentioned, school is kind of taking over a lot of my life and then some work stuff as well. So it's a little bit tougher now, but um, Sundays I will be on here again. And potentially by the end of the week, I'll probably do another live stream here. But I do plan on doing more videos, releasing more stuff for the veteran community as I go through my research journey. And yeah, hopefully you jump on again and I'll see you again. Trying to figure out what we doing. Yeah, that's a good question, Tony Slaughter. Well, money, I think they're trying to cut costs anywhere they can. And I guess veterans on the chopping block, unfortunately. So I hate that as well. But what do we do? I mean, you can contact your representative, your congressman. Um, but I think we as veterans have a strong voice within the government. And if enough of us voice our opinions on what we feel is correct, what we feel is right, things will happen. We saw it happen with this whole Doug Collins thing, how they changed up that what the hell was the name of that thing that they just did? Oh gosh, C 38 CFR 4.10 update. We saw that happen where enough folks voiced their opinions and their concerns and caused it to kind of to change for the better. I'm working on making myself tired. So I go to bed earlier until you get do a workout in the evening, like a light workout. That'll get you tired. Go out for like a little jog or something. That'll work. Come home a little bit tired, take a shower, go to sleep. Yeah, be all right. I got a bill for $540 for an ambulance ride from October, then got another letter 2 weeks later stating the VA paid for it. Hell yes. I hope everything's okay though. Ambulance ride in October. That's fairly recent, but I'm glad that they are paying for it. Now, I think it's what you have to contact the VA within 3 days to inform them that you had an ambulance ride. What the hell is a sleep lamp? I got to look this up now. I was supposed to be off of this thing now, and now I'm looking up sleep lamps. Sleep lamp? I got to go to sleep when it's completely dark. I don't know about a sleep lamp. Is it the red light lamp? Gamma light therapy? No perspective. Is this what they sent you? I don't know. Sleep lamp, huh? I did see some of these. Some of them look like red lamps. I don't know. It has to be completely pitch black for me to fall asleep at all. Um, 3 miles away. Well, damn. At that point, just freaking ride your bike to the hospital, right? With my first kidney stone, billed $1,500. Took a month for the VA to cover it, but they did. Damn. I'd rather just take an Uber. Yeah, it's getting to the point where it's like, do I take an ambulance or do I take an Uber? What's more cost effective if the VA didn't cover it, right? What's more cost effective here? An ambulance or an Uber? I was at I was at the grocery store a few months ago, and there was this gentleman who had very severe issues, right? Like disabilities. I mean, it was evident. And as I was walking into the the store, and as I was walking in, he dropped all his groceries on the floor. Like he had a bag, and he's trying to hold on to it. I helped him bag it up and bag it back up, and he asked me for a ride to. He had like a daughter, a little girl, and I just I asked him questions and all that, and he asked me for a ride to an apartment complex. I'm like, I'm on my way inside. Like I'm not leaving yet. I had to do some shopping. So um I called him an Uber. I was like, look, I can't give you a ride, but I will call you an Uber for you and your kid. So this dude shows up in like this little Nissan car, and he had like a walker and all that stuff. And I don't think the I don't think the Uber driver was prepared. So the dude, like, we had to open up the trunk, put the walker in the back. We helped the guy get in the car, and I told the Uber driver, I'm like, "Hey, you might have to help the dude get out of the car and like walk him up up the stairs." And the guy looks at me, he's like, "What?" I don't think he was ready. Oh man, a little, but I gave him a 5 stars and I gave him a tip as well. I gave him a tip. Oh yeah, Ronan Bruv. Yeah, updates on the other channel, man. I'm trying to get to it, man. That other one, Vic Learns Content, my other YouTube channel. And when I do go out, like I always remember after the fact because my mind is like on shopping or whatever I had to do, the errand I had to run. And then I'm always like, damn, I forgot to record this. So let me see what this is. Um, but yeah, I do have to do um, more videos on that one. I see it has like 17 subs on it, which I'm thankful for. Um, just had to figure out more content for it. I was gonna do a video on thumbnails and how I do my thumbnails and all that stuff. I mean, it's not very difficult. I did a lot of research on it, like psychologically, what kind of colors people tend to or gravitate towards, how to make it more clickable, things like that. So, um, yeah, more to come on that one, man. If you wanna jump on this one and maybe do like a stream or something, I'm down to talk about YouTube content all day and analytics and getting out of the comfort zone and filming and everything. I just reached out to Armed Services Arts Partnership. I did a couple of drawing classes with them a while back, a couple of art classes, and I taught some classes, and I asked them if maybe they were open to having me teach YouTube and podcasting 101, if that's even a thing, right? I would just show exactly what I did to get this thing started, something like that. So we'll see what they say. But yeah, more to come on this one, man. If you want to jump on something, let me know. Uh, trying to get off the phone, but no, you know what, Mo? It's just I'm having too much fun out here. That's what it is. You guys keep the conversation going. Again, this is my therapy. It works. Feels great. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that whole Samaritan law thing. Be careful helping with rides if something happens to your ass. Yeah, that's why I put it on Uber. Hey, give it to this dude. Hopefully, he got there okay, but nothing's happened yet, so we'll see. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Navy cop. Thank you for that. Looking for the video on sponsors and behind the scenes agreements and such. Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sponsors is that's a good one. Was able to lock on a few sponsors for this one, and I wanted to share that as well. So we'll definitely make a video on that one. That's write that down before I forget. Uh, Jason Miyamoto, the courts are sending out legal notices to veterans who use veteran guardians. Hope the veterans don't get screwed on this. I know it's not a top. It's not on topic. Sorry. No, no, it very much is. Jason, thank you for that. Um, and that's exactly what they were talking about in that article. The one that I shared here earlier. Where the hell is it? This one that I shared here earlier. The VA plans to scan 1 million veterans' claims for signs of fraud. So let me just do this quick search here because they were talking about these VA mills. Yeah, so suspect DBQs could include high volume submissions from so-called fraud mills that use similar boilerplate language on multiple questionnaires for different individuals. You just brought that up too. The courts is sending out legal notices to veterans who used veteran guardians. I don't know too much about veterans guardians. I don't know if they're a so-called fraud mill. I have no idea. Um, but yeah, I hope that they don't get screwed on that. So the big reason why I when I'm asked about it, I always mention, hey, go through somebody reputable like the DAV or the VFW, American Legion, something like that. rather than going through one of these like pay for play type of places. It's called a light box. You look into during the day and rests your circadian rhythm during fall and winter months. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was that little pear looking thing. Yeah, yeah, that's exactly. That's why I got that guy an Uber. The thing is, it was a surprise to the Uber driver when he got there. He wasn't expecting to help out this dude on crutches or whatever. The owner the owner of Veterans Guardians, I assume you're talking about. The owner is a retired O3 from the Army, and the co-owner is a retired E8 from the Army as well. I don't know too much about Veterans Guardians. Never had a reason to look into them. Guardians. Let's see. Vets. Is it vetsguardian.com? I don't know too much about these cats. VA claim consulting. See, there's a whole lot of claim consulting, and I understand that there's, veterans want to know how they can get their 100%. Because that's really all I see online is how do I get to 100%? Well, I'm of the belief that maybe not everybody rates 100%. Everybody wants it, but does everybody rate it? You rate what you based on your medical conditions. You may not have everything to get to 100%, but some of these places, I don't know if this one is one of them. Some of these places will just word things a certain way. Sleep apnea. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I've not tried that. I just know the reason why I had a freaking headache this morning was because I went to sleep. Right before I went to sleep, I had this like little LED light. It wasn't on my phone, but I have another LED light, and I was sitting there writing in my journal at night. I didn't want to wake the wife up, so I'm like writing in my journal with my LED light, and that thing was just shining on this side of my face, and then I woke up with this pounding headache on the left side of my brain and my eyes. So I feel better now that I, you know, pumped out some coffee here. But yeah, lesson learned. Don't look at an LED light before you go to sleep. Yeah. Some people get gifts, others get party favors. Yeah, yeah, you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. Not everybody gets 100%. Need Oprah running where it's everyone gets a car. Yeah, remember that? You get a car, you get a car, everybody gets a car. You get 100%, you get 100. No, it doesn't work that way. Some people only rate 50, some people only rate 30. It's fine. It's okay. We that's what we get. That's what we rate. And between the lamp and then Navy Cop's freaking Medcline pillow, sleeping like a friggin' baby, this guy. Like a baby. Yeah, I'll give a shout out to the VA for that as well, for hooking me up, and I think Navy Cop you got it as well, for hooking me up with this, pillow here. If you got trouble sleeping, maybe you got some shoulder pain. I know I have some shoulder pains. It started out my right shoulder. Now it's my freaking left shoulder for some reason. Or if you have like GERD, um, go to your PCM, your VA doc, and request. You can request this. I'm not telling you to do it. Just you can, and I know they'll approve it because I got mine approved, and they sent me over this thing. It's a whole pillow system. I mean, you can see this lady. Look how happy these people are sleeping here. What the hell? Show me pictures of the pillow, damn it. Yeah, so I have the shoulder relief thing here. They cover all this stuff. The VA covered all of this for me. They sent me this wedge looking thing where I could slide my arm under. They sent me this pillow thing, which is a game changer. Everything. Look how look how look how comfortable this guy looks. I wish I was that comfortable, but they sent me the pillow. They can definitely send you the pillow too. So you just have to talk to your doc, explain your situations. Like for me, my shoulder hurt, so this alleviated some pain on my shoulder. Your arm goes under here. It's called Medcline, a Medcline pillow. Now you cannot request like a specific company because there may be another company that does this, but I did ask them about the Medcline. They explained to me that they cannot just go buy the one that I request. They have to do their research on their end. Uh, but they have, I mean, their stuff is like patented or whatever. So like, I think they're like the only ones that do this. But yeah, it's a good piece of gear. And then they do work with the VA somewhere down here. It has like the VA thing, whatever, patent shipping somewhere. I don't know. Good piece of gear. Oh yeah, here you go. Medcline products are not covered by private insurance. The only insurance plan that currently offers coverage is through the Veterans Administration. For information about possible VA coverage, click VA in the footer below. And VA in the footer below. Am I missing something? Oh, here we go. VA benefits. We are proud to serve VA patients and their clinicians, or we are proud to serve the patients and their clinicians. So, yeah, they work with the VA, and you yourself, if you have shoulder pain or reflux issues, you can get yourself one of these pillows too. I'm not sponsored or anything like that. I just I'm a recipient of one of these, and it makes sleeping a little bit better, a little bit more manageable. So definitely check them out. Medcline. Good stuff. So sleep is better with the Medcline pillow system, but I have a ways to go. Yeah, yeah. Did you get the reflex one or the shoulder one? I'm curious. Hey, what's going on? The one that clerk. It's, South Africa, right? Is that right? South Africa? Yeah, I don't yeah, Navy cop, I don't see a difference between either one. I think the shoulder one is blue, the reflex one is orange. I have the blue one. It works pretty well. It does. It's just a big freaking system, so it takes up like half the bed. I have a king size bed. It takes up like half of that, like exactly half or more. So it is a big system. So be prepared for that. Oh yeah, awesome. Yeah, that works too. I use the Calm app. Again, not sponsored or anything like that, but I use the Calm app and I have I just listen to rain at night. I mean, SoCal doesn't really rain too much, but I like the sound of rain. So that helps me go to sleep, I find, especially for the tinnitus. Give me a second here, guys. Damn, boy's standing up now. Let's see. There we go. Let me see here. Just following up on these comments here really quick. I had to put my stand-up desk up because I'm tired of sitting down. Did you join the 3M suit, Vic? Tony Slaughter? No. So I haven't looked at that at all, really. I saw it floating around, and then I do have like some issues from a time when my little head earphone, whatever the little plug came out when I was at the rifle range, and completely like it took a while for my that hearing to come back. But no, I didn't join it. I have to check that out. 3M suit. Do some research on that. I set my Alexa for 30 minutes of new age instrumental when I go to bed, and it helps focus on that versus my tinnitus. Very nice. Yeah. I just listen to Rain, man. I really do. Like for my work focus though, like for my school, I listen to instrumental jazz. Well, that is instrumental, isn't it? So jazz. I listen to a lot of like Brazilian samba. Um, what else? Like salsa, instrumental salsa, stuff like that. Yeah, that's what I like. I grew up listening to that stuff, so I listen to a lot of that. Quick question for the guys in chat: what does it mean when people say SoCal? SoCal, Southern California, Southern California. Um, Thank you for answering that, Navy cop. Yeah, Southern California. I live in SoCal myself, NorCal, Northern California. So great question though. Great question. What is the weapon system you prefer as my primary? Um, this right here. You can do a lot with this. Wow, whole body. That's crazy stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Get toxic exposure screening. Yes, absolutely. Huge. It really is. It really is. I mean, you can talk about weapon systems all day and like guns and Glocks and whatever Smith and Wessons, whatever you like. But at the end of the day, as you can see, look at how. Think about how much of the pen, the signature, has affected history. You can look at the Constitution. You can look at a whole lot of stuff. How much has a signature affected the outcome of things? Ronan Bruv, yes. Background jazz. Yeah. I listened to a lot of it, man. I this morning, right before I went on the live stream, I was listening to samba, Brazilian samba, instrumental. Very cool. Kind of gets you dance a little bit, get the little two step, get you dancing, and gets you focused on what's going on. Who was I talking to about 3D printing? 3D printing. So I'll share this with you all here real quick. I have I'm doing a wholesale order right now. You all might see, like when I go to drink my water, I have my logo there, undercover clip. It's a little uniform item I created for Navy Marine Corps uniforms, and I sell these online and wholesale. And I'm trying to get this stuff together here. And I'm creating. Well, I just knocked out a few of them here. There's a bunch of them here I created, and it really is just that right there, undercover clip. That if you can create something, if you can think of, this is more for like my YouTube content channel, right? But if you can think of an issue, something to make somebody's life a little bit easier, and you can create something, and you can, or design something, prototype something, create something, market it, sell it, patent it, whatever you need to do, there's a potential for you uh, to build something around that, have some income with that. So just FYI, if anybody ever wants to talk about it, I'm big into 3D printing, and I'm big into prototyping and designing and figuring things out, measuring things like that. So love to talk about this stuff. So yeah, jazz is good. You know what? One of my all-time favorites when it comes to jazz, I used to listen to it because my dad listened to a lot of jazz, was George Benson, "Breezin'." I love that song. Whenever it comes on, it takes me back to my childhood. Um, question is, any sport you guys like? Do you guys play rugby or football in your respective branches? Yes, yes. So I played many years of well, soccer, right? Football. I don't know if in South Africa they call it football, but I played many years of soccer uh, in while I was in the Marine Corps. For various teams. Um, what else did I play? I played softball. There was a whole lot of softball that happened, so we played a lot of that. And there was a time, and when I was stationed in Hawaii, where I got into a little bit of rugby, and I was playing rugby, and we had Hawaii would do a lot of training with like other countries. When we did what was it called, Pacific Rim or whatever these things are called, these international training. So we played some soccer with like the Chilean folks, or I played rugby with the Tongan guys. So that was fun. Um, but yeah, as far as like the teams, I played softball and I played soccer. George Benson, Boney James, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, George Benson, "Breezin'." Just when you start hearing the flutes at the beginning, that takes me back to my childhood. Specifically, my father used to deliver newspapers, and I'd go with him in the morning. We'd leave at like 3 or 4 in the morning, and when we finish off, he'd always play that song, kind of like, "Hey, we finished our shift. Let's go back home." So it was always a great time. Nice. Yeah. I can't get into, too much of the newer stuff myself. Um, like, my kids name off different, songs and bands and stuff, and, I joke, I'm like, "Hey, man, what do y'all think about Buster Rhymes?" And they're like, "Who?" Like, come on. Oh man, but yeah, I still live in like the '90s with my music. Um, my wife jokes that I only listen to like the same maybe 50 songs over and over. My father was not a veteran. My father was not a veteran. No. To answer your question, there, Edouard Clerk. No, he wasn't. Yeah, I do like Wu Tang Clan. Was the first CD I ever bought. It was Wu Tang Clan, 36 Chambers. When I moved here to Santa, no, to California, when the first time I was stationed here, I went to a Wu Tang concert in San Bernardino, and this was right before ODB passed away, Old Dirty Bastard. So I got to see them all perform together. It was amazing. It was great. Um, Big fan of Wu Tang. Yes. Yeah. It was two CDs I bought when I was young, and I was living in Jersey at the time. And I remember walking down to this place called Record City in Passaic, New Jersey, and I bought Wu Tang Clan 36 Chambers and Warren G Regulate. Those are the first two CDs I ever bought. I must have been like 12. That's correct. Mo perspective, that is correct. I can confirm that. I have not read Fire in the Hole. No, by Bob Parsons. I have not. I'll have to check that one out. Right now, what did I just pick up? Where's that book I just picked up? Give me a second. I'm wrapping it up here. Okay. I just picked up three books yesterday. Two of them I purchased. Actually, no, one of them I purchased. One of them was for free, and the other one's from the library. Um, this one is The Way of Nogomi, the Japanese philosophy of finding balance and peace in everything you do. This is part of my research on relieving stress and anxiety, especially through the veteran lens. Library was having a sale, so I picked up Cormac McCarthy's The Road. And this one was free at the VA, and I thought I'd pick it up. War and the Soul, Healing Our Nation's Veterans from Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder. Again, part of my research into this whole PTSD thing. Ultimately, that's going to be like the thesis, I believe, at the end of the course that I'm taking, my master's in human behavioral psychology. So I'm kind of kind of starting to build it up now. Um, let me see what I got here. Regulate. I had the regular cassette tape, single Wu Tang, and the whole two discs. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I do like that. Yeah. Um, War Body, but very nice. Yeah. So yeah, I'd say don't stop reading. It's uh, it's great to kind of keep your mind engaged and keep it going. I'm finding that I'm forgetting a whole lot more these days than I used to. So um, I do make a lot of notes and just keep track of stuff. And reading kind of helps you stay engaged with all that. So definitely keep up with that if you haven't already done so. And audiobooks is good too, but I like to follow along on the pages reading personally. So um, with that, I think we're going on 3 hours now. Um, no, great stuff. I really do appreciate everybody stopping by. There's so much good information, such good camaraderie here, and this is a big reason why I do this. It's just it feels like a healing. It feels like a real connection with folks. So I do appreciate that. I plan on doing another live stream. Probably let's shoot for maybe Friday, Saturday. I'll put it up there, and if you just press like notify or something on here, if you subscribe and then press notify, you'll be able to see it. And then Sundays, every Sunday, and I've been doing this every Sunday for the last year and a half, almost 2 years. I do a live stream Sunday mornings. It's been going on for almost 2 years. It's called Military Retirement Podcast. It's just another show I do. You can watch it here on the Green Logbook. You can go on the Military Retirement Podcast channel if you'd like. It's more so for like podcast for Apple and Spotify. And we are part of the Wreaths Across America Radio Network. So very cool stuff there. Just kind of hidden that network is like a lot of the older veterans listen to that too. So it's almost like the way radio used to be. So it's fun to listen to because there's like a DJ, an old school like disc jockey, kind of like an Art LeBeau kind of, who runs all that. So it's pretty cool. Aside from that, yeah, thanks all for joining. Please check out Facebook, the Military Retirement Group. You don't have to be retired to be a part of that group. You could be a veteran. Doesn't matter if you did 4 years or 40 years. You're all welcome. And yeah, it's a great time. Makes me feel great. Hopefully it did the same for you. All right. This has been the Green Logbook. Thank you all.